Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Welcome to the first segment of the day, which leads me to believe there might be another segment later on today. Yeah, there is going to be a post-game reaction. And I've got to say, that choice to do the post-game reaction, Arsenal versus Man City, was generated by my other half. You got to do it. Yeah, all right. So Anyway, welcome to the first segment of the day. I've got my brother back to back live shows, and we've got some live news segments that we're going to be talking about, as well as maybe some transfer news. And no doubt you would have seen the thumbnail in regards to Hossein Aouar. So without further ado, we shall get into the bits and pieces on the other side of this music intro. Yes, welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. It's the first segment of the day, Sunday morning. It's like just 6 minutes after 11 a.m. UK time, and I got my brother back to back live shows. Ralph, how are you?
I'm very well, Alex. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm not about to take off the hat. No.
Yeah, guys. No, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, don't go there. Don't get it. However, guys, if you do want to hear Ralph sing later on today, it can be generated by making a generous donation on the super chat button. Pow!
Really? You're going there. I said to you, I think people are more inclined to want to have the vaccine sooner than to hear my voice.
Anyway, guys, before we get into this one, make sure you subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV. Hit the bell notification button so you can receive all the latest news right here on this wonderful channel that is Cannon Fodder TV. So the first thing, again, no doubt you would have seen the thumbnail artwork, Hossein Aouar. Ah, dearie me. What is there to do about Hossein Aouar? Anyone Arsenal could finally pull off Hossein Aouar transfer after confirmed Lyon blow. Arsenal were heavily linked, back in the summer of last year with this midfielder, and they might just get the chance to pull off a deal ahead of next season. Next season! Oh, my goodness. Arsenal may have been handed a boost in their bid to land Olympic Lyon midfielder Hossein Aouar. Aouar was heavily linked in the summer, and only for some news about Edu didn't work hard enough to get the deal done. And at that time, we're talking about, I think, like 35 million euros and 40 million. And all the while, the price is going up. And it's quite funny because at that time, I remember we were talking about Thomas Partey, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, Hossein Aouar is on the scene now. I mean, I'd never seen him. I still haven't seen him play. And I refuse to go onto YouTube to watch this guy play. I refuse. But yeah, so it appears that Arsenal and Edu may get their man next summer.
I kind of struggle with this because if you remember, again, quite a few months ago, we was talking about how we don't want Arsenal to, in the last transfer window, we don't want Arsenal to get anyone. We want to offload as many, I was say
Deadwood.
like Deadwood. Yeah, but we said we didn't want to use Deadwood, if you remember. But anyway, well, you can put that in as well, I suppose. But to offset and then have a good clear out, and then the areas that we need solidifying, then we'll go for those. So I think we're part of the way there in getting rid of some players. But if we was to go for Aouar, where does he fit in?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, he's like a creative midfielder, isn't he?
Yeah, but don't we have two of those already?
Exactly. Yeah.
So why are we not just getting another left back or another central defence?
It sounds like we should be part of the boredom, Ralph.
But I reckon that the creatives in the club. Look at all the feeds from as many Arsenal channels. I'm putting it out there. And they probably think that, well, I mean, they've got to be in touch with the fans, you would think. So if there's a clamour of fans thinking, hang on a minute now, what's this board doing? Surely they can't have all their heads in the sand, because that'd be ridiculous. I'm not being sarcastic or anything. I'm just thinking that, if you look at the squad and you're getting rid of as many players that are not there at this moment in time, and you want to start targeting the players that could fill those spots, then it makes more sense to get rid of those players that are not good enough, so that you can have the potentials to have those people come in and slot in. Why aren't we just doing the simple, basic things first? Because we've got time. I say that as if we have got time. We do have time. We've got the grassroots players coming in. You got your Emma Smith-Rowe, you got your Reece Nelsons. We've got 2 on loan. Ashley Maitland-Niles playing for West Brom. Am I correct?
Yeah.
We've got Joe Willock in Newcastle. So why can't we get those younger players in and then start thinking about building with the likes of Aouar and whichever targets we seem to be linked in?
Well, because I think a lot of people like to jump on the bandwagon. Once we are linked to one player, everyone jumps on the bandwagon. Oh, this player's wonderful, and then the moment like he's not the how can you say the talk of the town, then we move on to the next target. And like I said, I refuse to look at any videos of Houssem Aouar. I mean, I'm no doubt people will come in the live chat and tell me, he's a good player, he's good at progressing the ball, he's good at linking up play, but surely we've got players of that ilk already at Arsenal. We've got players who can do that job. So why would we want to spend upwards of 40 odd million euros to get Houssem Aouar, who's not proven in the Premier League?
Yeah.
We'll bump up his wages like we always do. We're wasting money, and yeah, it's just craziness. It's craziness. Let's look at proper
meanwhile, so I was going to say, and in the meanwhile, our defensive frailties will continue. We'll have a striker who potentially could show up, i.e. today, or not. And the midfield is saturated with like players. So deal with the situation on hand first. If I'm leaking in goals, that's the only reason why Liverpool won the Premiership last season, is because they had a stellar defender, and that filtered through to the rest of the team. And now look what's happened now. He's been out injured, and Liverpool are back to what, 6 or 7 because they've lost so many matches.
Yeah, but I think even with Liverpool, I just get the impression when I look at the team, it needs to be freshened up. It's the same personnel, who've won everything. So what can their motivation be? I look at Salah, and I look at his body language, thinking it looks like he needs another challenge. But I look at Liverpool, I'm thinking that's the same personnel. It needs to be freshened up a little bit. And I think you're right. They're probably in 6th place now. I think I'm not sure. Well, going back to Houssem Aouar, I'm thinking, like you rightly said, Ralph. We already have a stellar cast of midfielders. We need to find the right combination. I think we know already certain players who are probably not going to cut it at Arsenal. It could be when Joe Willock comes back from his loan spell from Newcastle. I'm not sure whether he's going to make it. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the utility man, we should have let go of last summer. So there's no doubt in my mind there are certain players who are not going to make it at Arsenal. But rather than throwing money at that situation there, let's look at what we have currently. Miguel Aziz, I'm telling you, this youngster who plays in under-23s, he's worth a punt. We're not going to reach top 4 this season. Give these guys some minutes. Give them some minutes in the Premier League, because we're not going anywhere too fast. But
And what about what's the talk about Bellingham? Is he still thinking about leaving, or is he?
I think he's going to be leaving, Ralph. I just can't. I can't see any headway. Yeah, you're telling me you've let the player run down his contract until the last 5 months now of his contract without any clear message. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't always have to be Mikel Arteta coming out and talking about what Arsenal are planning to do, highlighting the problems at Arsenal. We need a David Dean type of figure who can come out and say, look, this is what we've been trying to do over the last 5 years. This is what we plan to do. I'm trying to achieve in the next, 4 years. It doesn't always have to be Mikel Arteta talking about what's going on at Arsenal. I can't get my head around that. But again, you're telling me how Bellingham, we don't know what's happened with Bellingham. He's got 5 more months remaining on his contract. And we don't know whether he's staying or if he's going. We don't know what's going on, Ralph. Ridiculous.
But like I said before, at the start of this, let's identify the key areas that need work first. There's no point after the shiny new thing, because we're going to see it again. Come the summer, with everybody be clambering, we will need to get this player, we need to get this player, and then all of a sudden, by the end of the transfer window, we don't get who we want, and we're back to square one with, you know what, actually, we'll make do with our defence until the next transfer window. In the meantime, our form starts dipping, we start losing against teams that really we should beat, and then we're going to be back to this square, or this issue again, where it's like, well, who can we get? Oh, it's the next shiny thing. Let's chase after, and it continues. So let's sort out the defence first, and then let's sort out up front, because midfield, I feel we've got enough in midfield.
You reckon? Yeah.
Well, for the time being, I don't. To me, it's just too. There's just too many distractions. We know defensively we're not strong defensively. We know that. So let's sort that out first. Are you going to want to keep Holding signed as well, hasn't he? He signed for another 3 more years.
Yeah.
Okay. David Luiz is on a rolling contract. So, if you're going to ship him out, then make sure that we've got Gabriel. What about Saliba? Are we going to keep Saliba? Or, despite all the challenges that young man has as well, when he comes back, how is he going to partner himself with Gabriel? And he hasn't been tested in the Premiership as well, Saliba. So that's going to take a few more months for him to bed in. Again, if he's back in again. So to me, there's too many bits at this moment in time. Let's sort out the back 4 first, or 5, or 3. Then with midfield, okay, we probably can do one other, if possible, maybe 2. Make a competition for those positions. And up front, once again, as we always tend to have a challenge with up front, we've got Ødegaard on another 3-year contract. So are we going to let go of Lacazette? Too many imponderables for my liking.
All right, so that's the first segment. We've just been talking about Aouar and the midfield conundrum at Arsenal. I'm thinking, the newest, shiniest thing being linked to Arsenal, and we probably more often than not we won't even sign Aouar, but although this news comes from Sky Sports, and that was a bit of news again. So recurring about midfielders. Mikel Arteta has opened up about Martin Ødegaard, a potential future at the club, according to Sky Sports again. Arteta is keen to maximise the Norwegians' time at Arsenal, with Ødegaard's loan deal only lasting until the end of the season. The Gunners boss has said, according to Sky Sports, we have Martin for a few months from Real Madrid. First of all, we have to maximise this time with him, to try and bring to the team all the qualities that he has. Spaniel also went on to discuss the future plans for loanees, saying that come the end of the season, they will decide whether Arsenal can take their relationship with Ødegaard further. At the end of the season, we will still sit together and decide where we can take that relationship forward. At the moment, it doesn't just depend on us. And that's what I was talking about yesterday. You know, it was just clamour about, oh, you know, it's had a couple of wonderful games. Let's sign him up. No. Let's wait at the end of the season again. Let's see how he's feeling, how we're feeling about him, and then whether he's actually performed well enough for Arsenal. There's no doubt this guy has talent, but to say, oh, let's sign him up, it's too soon. It's too soon.
And also the fact that if he's going to be bedded into the team, are the teammates going to start passing the ball to him when he's, you know? It's a two-way relationship. I didn't hear whether it's confirmed or not. He does like Arsenal, and he does want to play for us. I'm not sure for how long, but again, while he's on loan, you know, make the most of the guy. And exactly. It's a probational period, isn't it? Like anything, at the end of your probational period, if it's going well, brilliant. If it's not going well, then there's your answer. You know, he goes back, no harm, no foul, so to speak. Yeah, but if he loves it, then.
But there's no option to buy at the end. There's just a loan, and he has to return. So I'm not sure.
He's just filling up for us, isn't he? Until.
Yeah.
Maybe we will go for Aouar then.
Nah. All right, and the other bit of news, I think it's going to be a four-bit part of news in regards to Paul Merson. Paul Merson says it's a shame. Paul Merson claims Arsenal man has joined the club at the wrong time. Paul Merson told Sky Sports that Mikel Arteta has become Arsenal manager too early. Wow, my goodness, that's posted by Football Daily. It's been over a year since Arteta took the reins at North London club, and Merson thinks during that time, the young Arsenal boss has had to clear up a lot of mess. Whilst questions continue to be asked of certain senior players at Arsenal, it's the youngsters who are thriving and forging a path forward for the rest. Merson thinks that there have been improvements at Arsenal, but yeah, today's showdown with Manchester City is unfair to see how far they have come. I don't think today's game is going to be see how far they have come forward, because this is Manchester City, said Merson. they are on a roll. They are. Last season they beat them in a big football match in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. They had a plan, and they have to go back to that plan. So yeah, so Merce is just saying that with Arteta, he's probably come at the wrong time. Is there ever a right time to be a manager of a club?
No. I think again, with the conversations that we had previously about when we had Unai Emery, and he got us to 5th and a Europa final as well. And then, you know, I say me and quite other fans, we said, no, that's not good enough, and he's gone. Now we've got a manager, a manager in waiting, but as a coach at this moment in time, isn't he? So he's had to learn the hard way. It could very well become a really great manager in time, but potentially maybe not with us, which sounds maybe controversial. As long as he doesn't go to our rivals, or if he goes to Barcelona or Real Madrid or something like that, than any of the top 4. But for the time being, it's something that we had to learn. We had to be patient. And during the last season of Arsene Wenger, when we was thinking, look, we need a change. Things he needs to step back and needs to step down and anything else. That was the right clamour, but we think we had the right manager after him, but we weren't patient enough. Now we have to be patient. We have to be even more patient. And I think what's filtered down as well is the expectation from us as fans, and also the expectation we have for our team and our club. I think we've become more. How can I put this? We've become. Everything that we thought was okay, we've had to look behind the curtain and see what really is going on. I think that's something that we haven't done for the longest period, because we always left it with the manager and the club knows where it's going, and we're all happy. We just go in and watch the match, whether it's on TV or go to the stadiums. But now, because of social media, because everything's documented and every decision is questioned. We're in that space now where we want to make sure that we all know where we are going and who's accountable. And the questions seem to be opening up a lot more now. You know, before your manager was pretty much untouchable, and now your manager's got an answer for everything. Like you said earlier, it should be somebody from the club talking about where we're going as in a direction, to take some of the heat or some of the pressure off the manager, because the manager's got a lot of things to think about anyway. You know, not just about the match and players' fitness and contracts. If you're talking about the overall overview, somebody above the manager should be stepping in and saying, okay, Mikel, I can take this question, you know, or I can take that feed, or I can put, this is what the club is going to do. I think they do it in some small parts on their websites, but to actually have somebody from the club speak, like before, a couple of seasons back, we had Vinay, didn't we? And
Josh as well, Cronky,
yeah,
I think.
yeah. So they need to step in more. So I think that what will happen then would be, when you see those faces, then there's the accountability, and the pressure gets taken off the manager, because the manager is literally doing the day to day. Like for example, in where I work, we've got our departments, we've got our department heads, and then you've got your managerial level, and then you've got your store owner. So everybody pretty much knows where we're going in the direction, but the store owner leads that way. Where's the chairman during this period in time? Has he come up with anything? Has he said, oh, you know what, we've done X, Y, Z? You know, so all those kind of things really it leads to accountability, and at this moment in time, there do seem to be a bit of fog in the way there.
The last bit of news we wanted to talk about was in regards to Nicolas Pepe, and it's something that we spoke about, the last few days. And fans are saying, if Nicolas Pepe doesn't play, they will cry. Some Arsenal fans urge Arteta to bring back, the youngster, Nico Pepe. Arsenal fans want Nicolas Pepe to return to the starting 11 for their showdown with Manchester City today. In previous years, Arsenal were always the top dogs during this fixture. The very rich owner, from the Gulf of State, added with Arsenal's steep decline has resulted in Man City delivering knockout blows almost every single time we play against them. And it's just going, the report again, this is from Sky Sports. Given the nature of today's game, some Arsenal fans would like to see Pepe from the get-go, especially with that crucial second leg tie against Benfica coming up. Prior to being put on the bench, Pepe was going through one of his best spells in an Arsenal shirt, not setting the world alight. There was finally promise from his left foot. But since that Aston Villa defeat, he has spent only 30 minutes on the field of play with the likes of Emerson Rowe, Aubameyang, Bukayo Saka, and Martin Ødegaard all selected as attacking options ahead of him. And that's what I've said. You know, if you've got a player who's in a rich vein of form, continue playing him. Continue playing him. And he must be scratching his head thinking, what the hell's going on? You know, I've done, basically what the manager's asked me to do. And like he's subbed me off. And like, I've become a bit part player. I was thinking that's so unfair on Nicolas Pepe. So I don't know whether we're going to see him play today, Ralph. I don't know.
Well, like we said yesterday, what are we playing for? Are we going to just let Man City like steamroll us today, and because we're going to not have our key players, because we're going to hedge all our bets on the Benfica return match? Or are we going to try and get as far up the table as possible? Because maybe we may not have. We should have taken our chances in the first match, there's no doubt. So what are we playing for? You play your strongest team, and we're at home as well. So I don't know. to be perfectly honest, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to play this. Liverpool lost yesterday as well. So could we turn the corner and make the Premiership a bit more exciting if we beat Man City today? I don't know. I'd be happy with a draw. I wouldn't like us to lose, but that's me being optimistic. And if we do whichever way that the result goes, then it means that Thursday becomes more of a pressure cooker. Which players are going to turn up?
Yeah.
Who have we left in order for them to play in this match? And depending on how it goes, we know definitely that Willian's is gonna feature. So
yeah,
what do we do?
All right, so it leads me to go into the live chat for the first time. One of my first moderators, actually, the cheeky so-and-so. Says, hey up, Gooners. Yes, we all spotted that hat glued to your head, hiding the bad self-corona haircut. Good morning to you, Ashley D. Where you live. Dear me. Assemble says good morning, top of the morning to the pair of you, and the same to you, my friend. Hope you're well. Bronze Dosser says good morning.
Morning.
Don 1982, good morning, guys. Sorry, I have not been around. I've been mad busy. I hope you're all well. I saw a few weeks ago that Ramsey was on Arsenal's radar again. Any truth about this? I think I did speak about him. There's no truth in that. It's just make believe. It's like just people just like reflecting on his career, Rambo Arsenal. But yeah, there's no truth in that. There's no truth in that.
Do we know what he's doing at Juventus or?
Yeah, he's doing quite well. I know when he first arrived there, he was like plagued by injuries, but he's doing very, very well at Uwe. So good luck to him. Good luck to him. To have Rambo back now, no, I think that story, that fairy tale has now finished. It's now finished. Yeah.
I know he's a Welsh boy as well. So he used to play for Cardiff City. So he may be down at the weekend because this next weekend is the Six Nations that I mentioned, and although he'd more likely be watching it from his hotel room, I suppose, rather than coming down here and watching not even in the pubs. Maybe his family, a bit down for his family. But anyway, yeah, it would be nice, but I think we've progressed from then on. So he's doing well where he is, and we wish him best.
Aouar is paper talk. Yeah. Ceballos and Guendouzi are more likely to be the right-sided creative midfielders. Asia McNars could come back and do a job in midfield. Of course he could.
Yeah.
Of course he could. But all the stuff about keeping him, convincing him last summer to stay at Arsenal, and then he's a never bit part player. No. I mean, I disagree with him being loaned out to West Bromwich Albion. I think they're going nowhere fast. I think the language in bottom place now, isn't it, in the Premier League? But yeah. Ralph, this is Arsenal. Simplicity doesn't come into the thought process.
That's me just being forever optimistic. Like I said before, it'd be great. They used to do this years ago, where they had the AGM. And you could start applying questions to the board and everything else. Not that the board would ever take on the wishes of many fans or people who invested in the club, but at least you've got a line of accountability. You can actually pinpoint your question and say, okay, well, it's not been answered. What's the next step? What action can we take? But that's me just being optimistic. But of course, now there's no AGM. The club owner can do what he likes because he owns the club 100%, and we're just there hoping something's going to happen. And I don't like that.
Actually, we must try and sort out whether we can get someone from the Arsenal Supporters Trust to come into Cannon for TV. That's Ralph's homework anyway. Yes, Alex, I agree. With what?
What, your hat? Your
Possibly. Big up, everyone, he says. Look at who is giving us hope in the team. He has the heart of a 25-year-old. Yeah, hashtag Saka. Yeah. Liverpool needs some players, and Thiago slows down the tempo of the Liverpool team. But yeah, DS, I just, again, when I look at the team, I'm thinking they don't have the biggest squad numbers in depth and quality. But I'm just thinking that squad, that it needs to be freshed up a little bit. It's just the same faces who have won everything. So surely, what can their motivation be now? But
it's like every great club, you know. I think did Man City or no, I think it might have been Chelsea. Chelsea won the Premiership back to back, didn't they?
Mm.
So, and you know they were I'll say hungry enough to do it, but I think it's mainly because the sides at the time weren't good enough to beat them. But if you look at the big four at the time, you know, Arsenal been there. We haven't done it. We have. I think we did do it in the late 90s. When a team goes through a particular period where players are coming in and out, to keep it fresh is difficult, especially when you know the expectation is all right. We've won the Premiership. Let's do the double. Let's do the treble. You know, let's win those Super Cups as well. So it's difficult. It is difficult maintaining that level of standard.
Yeah. We did a poll yesterday, actually, straight after the live show yesterday, and the question was, does Mikel Arteta deserve a new contract? And as it stands at this moment in time, there's been like 692 votes. Thank you for that, guys. And the options were yes, no, and not sure. So the not sure's coming at 14%. The no's, no, he doesn't deserve a new contract extension, is 30%. And the yes, he does deserve a new contract extension, is at 56% there. So, yeah. Go back into the live chat. There's one here from the... Go, Ralph. Do you want to say something, Ralph?
No, just saying, that's confidence, because if you look at it, if that poll was at the beginning of this year, no, actually just before Christmas, I'm sure that it was swung the other way because it was that really bad run.
Yeah, absolutely. Oops. Aouar comes down the left-hand side. We can't work out if Aubameyang, Martinelli, Pepe, Saka, Nelson, or William should be playing there now. Nonsense baffles brains, but to me, nonsense is just nonsense. And like I said, I'm thinking, right, okay, sort it out. Which players are going to be in those positions there, so you can have competition? Because I don't want any player thinking that, you know, I'm a dead cert to be, a starting 11 there. But I'm thinking, like you said, is it going to be Martinelli playing on the left-hand side? Is it going to be Aubameyang playing on the left-hand side? Is it going to be Pepe playing on the left-hand side? What is going on at Arsenal? And you throw in there Houssem Aouar? No.
And also to the opposition as well, they know who to mark. They know who to mark. You know, it doesn't become a mystery anymore. If you've got a threat from both sides, if you remember, late 90s, early thousands, most of our goals came from midfield as well.
Yeah.
No one, everybody wants to pick up on Henry, but hang on a minute now. You got Bergkamp, or you got Perez, or you got Ljungberg. Hang on a minute now. You've got a defender coming in as well who can score from 30-odd yards. So to balance it up gives the opposition, you know, hang on a minute now. It puts them on the back foot. So far, we've allowed everybody to come at us, and they're taking advantage.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Take it from me, I saw this coming a mile away. Ødegaard and Ceballos in St. Mid party would be the holding player alone, because he has legs. No number 10, he would emulate Pep and Guardiola. Centre half is our weakest position. Lots of potential and improvements, but the fact that Luiz is our best centre half is a worry. Yeah. My goodness. Levan J says, good morning, Alex. How are you this morning? I'm fine. Thank you very much, Levan. Thank you for coming in to watch us on this live show. Watching you while eating my breakfast, bro.
It's a good way to start the day.
Oh, I haven't had my cocoa. Actually, I have had my cocoa. Yeah, I have. Have you had your breakfast, Ralph?
I had my brunch. I had a lovely herbal tea and a digestive biscuit.
Nice one. Yeah, he also says morning, Ralph, as well. Ødegaard was brilliant Thursday night. I like the moment around the movement around the pitch, and so did I. Again, I understand what people were saying yesterday. It's like his movement is quite deceptive, it's quite dynamic, and it'll take some time for them to kind of get a tone to that. But that's something completely different to not passing the ball purposely to the player. These things are completely different. But yeah, what I saw actually on Thursday, I liked. But again, am I saying, sign him? No. It's too soon. It's too soon. Oops. DS says Paul Merson is right.
Yeah. About everything, or about
Mikel Arteta coming at Arsenal too soon.
I think Paul Merson, he is one of those pundits now who will say it like it is, and sometimes we don't like to hear that, but he say it like it is, and he's got nothing but love for Arsenal. I know there's some fan base tend to be rather angry about what he says about Arsenal, because you don't ever criticize your family, but if you criticize your family amongst your family members, but you don't do it externally, you don't hang out your dirty washing, so to speak. But I feel that everything he says, it comes from the heart, and he just wants the best for Arsenal. But he'll do it in his own way.
Yeah. Alex, Oli had the same problem at Real Madrid. Real Zidane was the reserve team coach. He was a major talent, but the first team squad wouldn't accept him allegedly. Oh, right, okay, I wasn't aware of that. Interesting. First and second leg against Benfica is the biggest game of our season. Lose today and it doesn't really make a difference. However, if we lose on Thursday, then our season is done, lads. I completely agree.
Yeah.
The question from Mahir on Arsenal Fan Circle, do you think Arsenal should put all the eggs in the Europa League basket? That's the only basket we have, because we're not going to reach top four. We're not getting to top four. So yeah, I completely agree, Levan. If we lose on Thursday, that is it. There's nothing else that we can be going for. Nothing else. This question is for Ralph. Okay. Do you think the Arsenal board has any ambition for the club in the very near future?
If they can sell to Dangote, the African billionaire, then I would say yes. If they want to keep the club and not sell because Stan Kroenke is thinking, you know what, it's actually this club is a golden egg, and I'm going to hand it down to my son, and then my son will do it to my grandson, blah, 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 then I think we're going to see more of the same. I'm an optimistic kind of guy. I don't like dealing in negatives, but sometimes you have to stand back and see, what the club is doing at this moment in time, and there doesn't seem to be much transparency, or it comes at a rush to try and placate everybody, rather than just be honest and truthful. We all have an invested interest in the club, whether we're armchair fans, or fans. I mean, I went to the Emirates about 3 seasons ago. So my love for Arsenal is that's it, and what you see is what you get. But I don't know what the board is doing in order to make sure that we have a great future, because they have not convinced me, and I think that goes for many Arsenal fans. They haven't convinced us. They may have given us some money along the way, but it always seems to be tainted. It always seems to be, there always seems to be some kind of problem to it. I was talking to a Liverpool fan a couple of days back in work, and I said that with Liverpool, you pretty much see what you get, and the owners are quite open because there's transparency. Why is it such a mystery with Arsenal? And when it comes to looking out for the players, Why is it that we still, from about 5 years ago when we said that we're not going to run down players' contracts, we're still doing the same thing? So, in short, if the Kroenkes can hand it over to somebody who truly cares about the club, then we'll have a really bright future. If they want to stay and hold the club as they have been doing, then I think we're going to see more of the same.
I tend to agree. I know there are a couple more comments in regards to that, actually. But sandwiched in between that, we've got a lovely comment from Ashley D. Hey up, Gooners. Good to see you here. It's Sunday thumbs up day, so let's hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see Alex's hat more. Thank you for that, Ashley D. It's a fixation with my hat. And Levan says, Alex and Ralph, hand on heart, do you really trust this Arsenal board to back Arteta in the summer? Remember the article about Stan Kroenke a few years ago saying he didn't buy Arsenal to win trophies? Now, I know the question was put to Ralph from DS Electronics about, do we trust the board going forward, and actually invest in supporting the club? Personally, I don't see it. It's going to be more of the same, the drudgery stuff that we're seeing. You got to remember, a lot of these board members, they're not footballing people. They've not played the sports that I can see anyway. But I wouldn't trust them to support Arteta come next summer, Ralph.
Yeah. I could be very facetious and say I won't trust them to cross the road with a blind ground, because you can see it. You can see it. These board members. All you have to go, if any Arsenal fan want to look at what happened at the very last AGM that Arsenal had, and we're talking about 4 seasons ago, I believe, 3 or 4 seasons ago, maybe 5. The way that the board had a sense of entitlement at the way that they answer questions by fans, by those who had got a really good investment in the club, the way that they handled the press, all those bits show you, how this club is run. Now, James Rowe can say it more eloquently than I can, but I'm just saying it the way that I see it and I feel it. Is the fact that if you had a chairman that really cared about the club, he would talk to the fans. If you had a board that really cared about the fan base, then you see them. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I don't see anyone supporting some of the charities by going out and talking to people. When we had the FA Cup, we had the great promo about some of the fans that you saw online. But why not just take that on one side and say, hang on, let's just talk to the fans for real? Why can't they have a digital platform where they can do a Zoom meeting? It's possible now. Have a Zoom meeting with all the fans. This is Arsenal board. We want to open a Q&A for our Arsenal fans, and we'll be as transparent as possible because you are us. We're representing the club, and we're recognized globally. We're a major brand. So why can't they do those kind of things? If I'm not the guy who sat in the boardroom listening to this, I'm a fan, and I can come with maybe about 5-10 ideas to engage with our fan base. Why can't they do that? Because they're paid. They're paid to do that. And if they're business people, surely it makes business sense to look out for your customers.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. And also kind of tuning in now, we've just been talking about certain bits and pieces of news, especially about Paul Merson's comments. He said that for him, he reckons that Mikel Arteta has arrived at Arsenal too soon in his managerial career. You can agree with it or disagree if you want. And also some fans have been saying, we're going to cry if Nico Pepe doesn't play today against Man City. Yes, we're back in Premier League action. It's a 4:30 kickoff. Am I going to be doing a post-game reaction? Yes, I will, because I've been told by the missus, you got to. I said, right, okay. I guess I've got to then, haven't I? I've got to do one. And we're talking about Martin Ødegaard as well, that Mikel Arteta has said that literally it's not only down to us, it's going to be down to the player. And I said, well, yeah, it's too soon to be talking about offering this guy, a permanent deal, even though, from what I understand, there's no option to buy at the end of his loan spell. So I'm not sure. Also, before we get back into the live chat, There was a link to a 90-second video in the description box below. I'm not sure if Ralph wants to talk about that very, very briefly, Ralph.
Okay, so as I mentioned yesterday, and I will continue to mention it, I'll do it on my Voice of Reason video as well. This 90-second video is an opportunity to look at your financial well-being. And we know we talk about mental well-being and everything linked to that, but financial well-being, some of these ideas are not really taught in schools. There are some information about, but the opportunity handed to Alex and myself, we both jumped in because I know what the effects are of being furloughed or having your job taken away from you. And the first thing that tends to go is your finances. So as Alex has mentioned, have a look at this 90-second video. If you like the sound of it, we can talk more about it. If you don't feel that it's for you at this moment in time, that's no good. That's not good, but it's not a problem. But keep an open mind is the main thing I would ask, and continue supporting us on our journey.
Nice one, well said. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick pause, course for the pause. Again, we're promoting. We're going to keep promoting our online services, online digital services, voiceovers, video editing, as well as thumbnail artwork. So if you are that person thinking, you know what, I think I want to start my YouTube career, but I don't know how to do it, have a watch at this video, and maybe we could be the people just to help you. So we'll see you on the other side of this promo video. As part of the Canon 4 TV experience and services, we're now extending out into additional online products such as voiceovers, thumbnail artwork designs, and video editing for small YouTubers who have less than 1,000 subscribers. Voiceovers. If you need voiceovers for short videos, 30-second adverts, stories, intros, and outros, then we can do this for you. Let us know the length of the voiceover and we will give you a polished audio file in less than no time. In addition to this, thumbnail artwork designs. As we pride ourselves on sharp HD thumbnail artwork designs, we can do this at a relatively low price. Send us your specifications and we'll produce eye-catching designs to attract subscribers and followers to your platform. And finally, video editing. We have a range of video editing techniques, special effects, and software to produce a polished end product for which you can be completed in the quickest time possible. Now, if you would like help and support getting your channel promoted and your subscriber count going, then send us an email at artworldpublic1@gmail.com. I repeat, artworldpublic1@gmail.com. We are here for you, for the Canon 4 TV experience. So yeah, so like I always say, I'm going to be promoting all this online services. If you are that person who's thinking, yeah, maybe I want to have my own podcast and YouTube channel, I need some help, send us an email at artworldpublic1@gmail.com, and maybe we can talk business. Let's get back into the live chat. Maybe the last time inside 15 minutes. What else do we have here? Got Amit. This is hello everyone, and hello to you as well, Amit. We as fans are lied to by the board and Stan Kroenke when they took over the club, Ralph.
Yeah, well, again, Eltel, we've had these conversations, and I remember he said to me on this platform, yeah, we were lied to. It's one of the things that's sticking in your throat, because if you see the background to Alex's hybrid stadium, I believe if we stayed there, ifs, ands, buts, and maybes don't really count for anything. But I believe that because of the ground, because of the history behind that ground, I reckon that we will have at least won the Premiership maybe 2 or 3 times within that period of time. We would have still been within the top 4. We still would have been competing in Europe. Potentially, we were 16 years in Europe, and we only had 1 chance at cracking it before any of the London clubs. I'm pretty certain that if we were still at Highbury, we would have done it. Maybe we would have completed it. But again, history shows, where we are at this moment in time. We're at a new ground now, and we was told that we were going to be competing with the likes of Bayern Munich and Barcelona and everybody else, and the result is where we are. We're languishing 10th. We've got a squad of potentials that's going to probably take, with a really good manager, Arteta will bed us in. It will take maybe 2 to 3 years to compete to that level where Liverpool, Man City, Leicester, Chelsea are at this moment in time. And to me, that we've gone backwards. I hate to say that, but we have. As much as we may highlighted certain great matches and potential ways that we could have gone forward, but we've gone backwards from where we are. So as a result, it didn't really work out. So now we have to just wipe the board clean and start again. And when you do that, it means that unfortunately some of the players that we feel that we want to keep, they may go elsewhere because there's other teams that's more established.
It's funny actually. It goes and say, will we ever become a Champions League club, or is a mid-table the best we can hope for in their future? I think so. I think so. We have to get to accustomed, not have to get to accustomed to it, but I think we took the fact that we won a Champions League, for granted. I think a lot of the fan base don't really know the history of the club. We've had some really barren years. I remember the 70s. We were not a good club from 1971, double winning team, right up until 1979, where we won the first silverware. So there's that period there, and even from that time, 89. So there've been barren years at Arsenal. So you had to, just sit tight, strap yourselves in, because no empire, empires rise and fall. And we are going to be in a mid-table team until we can get our house together. And I think until we can have a new owner at Arsenal, it's going to be more of the same people, more of the same. But
what I will say, just to add into that, Alex, is if you look at the way that Arsenal, when they had those heights, they played against teams that were well established, that we weren't given a chance to win. We was always on the peripheral of doing something great, and then we slipped back. But then when you had the heights of Man United, for example, there was no one else there to take on Man United other than Arsenal. I'm not just bigging up a own trumpet or something, but I'm just saying that's where Arsenal's always been. But if you look at the history of Man United, if you look at Liverpool particularly, they had years where they were brilliant and then they just disappeared. And then they were brilliant and they disappeared. With Arsenal, we've been consistently, we've been good. We just got to the edge of being brilliant and then we disappear again. So we need to have that consistency where the team is confident that we have to start learning to play without fear. And I think back in those days when under Arsene, unfortunately, he played it safe, or he always held players back from playing against certain teams because he was thinking about the FA Cup or thinking about Champions League, when really, if he kept the team consistently, we could have gone through. We could have, but that's where we are. We're all ifs, ands, buts, and maybes, and they don't count. Look at where we are at this moment in time, and it shows you where we've been. So the only way we're going to go forward now is to say, right, okay, well, that's where we are. Let's try and build something, but we need the club, we need the chairman to back us.
It's funny, Ralph, because whenever I think about Highbury, not only do I believe that we were sold a lie, I just get an impression that now we're living beyond our means. If we remained at Highbury, there's no doubt in my mind we would have won, like you said, the league at least twice, two more times, and we probably would have remained in the Champions League. But I just get the impression that we were living within our means. The moment we left Highbury to go to Emirates, we kind of, everything's kind of got lost in translation. We've just been so frivolous with the money. We're trying to look for the next best player, across Europe, rather than focusing on what we have. Live within your means. And I do miss the Highbury. I do miss Highbury. I have joked with Elto a couple of occasions that say, imagine if I was a billionaire, could I not go back to the council, purchase the land, give a good amount of money to all those people who've bought apartments there, and just take Arsenal back to they'll build your home. And he said to me, well, Alex, no, that boat has, has sailed now. But I'm sure where there's a will, there's a way. And I guess, we're still waiting for, Akilo Dangote, the richest African man, to hear something at least, because I haven't heard anything about him. Nothing at all. And I just get the impression now it is the time to have a new owner at Arsenal. I can just feel it, Again, if Arsenal wasn't like a golden goose lane, golden goose lane eggs, the Kroenkes wouldn't be here, because it's a money-making business. That is it. And for us as supporters, that is not it. We want our club, challenging, winning silverware, on a not I would say on a regular basis, but the last time we won some European silver was like more than 26 years ago. A quarter of a century, Ralph. A quarter of a century. But yeah.
But just adding into that, just before going to the next question. I remember that Arsene Wenger did say that how or the club said that how they did ask for permission from the Islington Borough Council, because they wanted to add maybe another layer or two on top of the stadium, because they were having a lot of fans, waiting for a season ticket, and the waiting time was like maybe about 6 months to maybe a year, maybe even longer than that. So Islington Borough Council also got to bear some of this responsibility as well. So I suppose in a sense, maybe I'm just legitimizing the business people who decide to first to move from hybrid to the Emirates. Maybe the club fought a bit tougher. The club fought more. Now with the Emirates, your Stan Kroenke is probably saying, or I think he did say, well, look at Leicester, for example. Leicester won the Premiership, and look where they are. Yeah, but they are still where they are. They may be challenging, but they haven't won it yet. They've won it once, but if you look at their history, where have they always been? So it's not six of one, half dozen of the other. It's pretty much the fact that if we stayed at where we were, I mean, you look at Liverpool, you look at Man United, for example, they haven't moved stadiums.
Yeah.
So, anyway, forward.
Question: what's happened to the youngsters that Arsenal bought in the summer? Obviously, they haven't developed. Notice you hear nothing about them, but we are attached to every player who becomes available. Yeah, and every player that realistically Arsenal are never ever going to buy. I did joke about Arsene Wenger talking earlier last week about we could have had in Kylian Mbappe and Ronaldo. I was thinking, and what happened? And what happened? It didn't happen, did it? Woulda, coulda, shoulda doesn't count for anything.
Exactly.
On TV,
We could have had Maradona.
Yeah.
No.
Levan says that it's really annoying that rival fans call us Banter FC. The worst thing is we can't really argue against it with how we are performing and how this board owners run this club. It's time for the changing of the guard. It's time for a new owner, to come in at Arsenal. Maybe I need to do some research on, the movements of Akilo Dangote and find out what the hell's going on, man. Come on, man.
That'd be worthwhile.
Yeah, odds are people will play on the right or get injured. So players will play on the right or get injured during the warm up, or at best be a substitute and come on with 15 minutes to go on a conundrum that couldn't be asked to work out. I mean, I always, look about what happened on Thursday night. That Willian still got some minutes, Ralph. Willian still got some minutes. I was thinking, Arteta, you didn't have to put him on.
Yeah.
There was no call for it. God, dearie me, man. Oh, dear. Magic Ace says, good morning, Alex and Ralph.
Good morning, Rich.
Russ Morgan, good morning, says, hello, chaps. The biggest problem, Majid says, in the past 10 years or so has been a mismanagement from the owner all the way down to the manager. We have sold players for cheap or let them go on a free and have brought badly.
And also, we sold our best players to our rivals, and they've gone on to win something. You know, I can think of about maybe 4 or 5 players already. So yeah.
Russ Morgan says Kroenkes were never going to spend big with Usmanov was on the board. Yeah, I forgot about that element there as well. They have spent since taking ownership. They have just consistently employed the wrong people in key positions. Here to that. We went to the Emirates. We have the biggest game revenue in Europe. When we left Highbury, we were 100 million in debt. 38,000 in an old stadium wasn't enough. But look at the consequences now going forward. You know, as much as the Emirates is a wonderful stadium, it hasn't been kind to us. The Emirates era hasn't been kind to us. I'd far rather stayed, you know, at Highbury.
If I can make another mention, we had 2 billionaires, one that had more shares than the other. Kroenke was at the table and Usmanov was at the table. But out of the 2 billionaires, one went to the game more often than the other, and that's Usmanov. He had a vested interest at Arsenal. You know, he would move heaven and earth for Arsenal. He's richer than Abramovich, and yet we for whatever reason that the board decided to give their shares to Kroenke rather than Usmanov. If you're disrespected, you're not going to stay somewhere where you've been disrespected. You go somewhere else. And I think he went to Everton, didn't he? Him and his. So, and Everton had a good win against Liverpool yesterday. So something is working there that we could have had.
But you know, Ashton makes that point there about, you know, Arsenal were 100 million pounds in debt and the stadium, this and that. But that's down to the management. How you're managing the finances. You know, again, you know, buying players, selling players. That's down to bad management, not so much about the stadium, because I don't think Chelsea have a bigger stadium. It's not bigger than Highbury. I think Highbury was bigger than Chelsea Stadium. So it's about how you manage the finances, bringing, you know, astute people in correct key roles to manage, whether it's the transfers, you know, the scouting system there, you know, having regular board meetings. So if there is a problem, we could talk about it in a forum. And now that the opportunity is gone because, you know, KSC, 100% ownership. They don't have to have AGMs. It's closed doors. but again, I'd far rather be a Highbury, you know. But I'm just thinking, it's for me, it's a non-starter. I've been to the Emirates more than maybe 10 times, more than 10 times, I think, or probably more than that. But it just doesn't feel like home. It's a wonderful stadium. You know, Ralph, you know, we can tell you because we did the stadium tour. But at the end of the day, what kind of business are we doing on the pitch? What have we won? How are we going forward? What are the problems that's been identified? There's no one person that's come out and told us that, Ralph. We need a David Dean type figure to negate, you know, against all the negativity. But
the time capsule that they have at the Arsenal has more history than the Emirates Stadium at this moment in time. And one other thing I would add as well, because as I mentioned yesterday, I'm literally about 10-minute walk to the Principality Stadium. When you go to the Principality Stadium, it is steeped in history. It is intimidating. You know, England are coming down this week to play against Wales, and if the fans were packed in the stadium, you've got a choice: the roof open or closed. You've got to offer it to the opposition if they want to play with the roof open or closed. But when the roof is closed, it's intimidating because your fans are your 12th man, as it were, or 16th man in rugby. But to actually play on the pitch, you know, you feel as if even the blade of grass is against you if you're English. With Arsenal, I feel that it's a welcoming stadium, but it doesn't hold any kind of intimidatory there. There's nothing for the opposition to feel that, flipping out, we're coming to the Arsenal, you know, because quite often the results show that our opposition, no matter how low in the league they are, they always get something. They always get something at the Emirates. At Highbury, it wasn't like that at all. You know, as soon as you rocked up to the Highbury to the stadium, you knew that you were in for a hard time. You know, that's the same thing that happens down here. So that's what the Emirates need. The Emirates needs it. I don't care if the road leading to the opposition changing room is has got 6-inch nails or something, or the showers don't work, or the TV can't work, or whatever it is. You know, that's what you meant to make it as difficult for your opposition before they get to the pitch, because psychologically you got that edge. But at the Emirates, it doesn't hold that kind of fear factor.
Mm-hmm. Majid says, I think moving to the Emirates was a good idea. The fan base was growing and we needed a bigger stadium as the club was growing. The problem has been the people behind the scenes. Arsenal waiting list for season tickets is 40,000. Takes about 10 years if you apply now. 10 years. Oh, my goodness. Russ Morgan says, so United didn't need to move. Old Trafford is double the size of Highbury. I get that. I understand that. But again, if we're talking about stadium sizes, Chelsea Stadium is not bigger than Highbury, and they've won the Champions League and they've won the Premier League how many times? So it's not about moving, per se. It's about making the most of what you have or what you had, and we're thinking, we're going to move to a bigger stadium. The Emirates era has not been kind to Arsenal. It hasn't been kind. Period. You can look at the stats are there. Anyway, Ralph, it was Sheffield United who could have signed and Arsenal. I did feature Terry Neal in the player segment profile. Yeah, I need to get back to doing that. And at the time, remember when Adidas, went to demo down the road, Arsenal approached Maradona, and he did say that he always wondered what would have happened if he ended up playing for Arsenal. So, as well as Sheffield United, Arsenal also had the opportunity in the Terry Neal era to sign Diego Maradona. All right, let's see if we can wrap up this one very, very quickly. This Banter FC is the third most successful club in England. Yeah. Won more trophies last year than Chelsea, Manchester Spurs, and Leicester City. So let other fans talk, because other fans, they're going to talk, aren't they? My man, Alex and Raz, I went to bed happy. Now I'm awake. Yeah. That's a good thing, isn't it?
Hey, listen, you got up, man. You got up. You got to enjoy getting up. Come on. I was very happy, and I'm up happy. So regardless of the rest of the day, you know what I mean. I'm glad to be up. So.
But Chelsea got a rich owner that was willing to spend. So they didn't need a bigger stadium, and now they are planning to get a bigger stadium. That's true, actually. Almost every big club is going for bigger stadiums. Not to mention that West Ham and Man City basically got given really built state-of-the-art stadiums. West Ham, yeah. At the same time, it was the correct to move at the time. The problem is the wrong people got to take control of it. I believe the Hillwood should have been in charge for the first 10 years. To make Emirates more intimidating, the FA needs to allow safe standing. Yeah, because I've been at clock here.
I'm not saying about the actual feature for the function of the stadium. What I'm saying is every stadium that you go to, whether it's rugby or whether it is football, you don't make it easy for the opposition. This is this is your house. You're inviting your guests. You don't particularly need to like them unless they're relations, of course, but you want to make sure that you put them ill at ease from the time they get onto the pitch, and we don't do that. It's all very nice. Even when we shake hands, or not really shake hands anymore, but it's all nice in the tunnel. With Arsenal, I remember that just to be standing next to a Patrick Vieira or an Henry or Bergkamp, you felt intimidated. We don't have that. We don't have that edge. We need that kind of edge.
TT says Emirates is Santa's toy store. presents for everyone. Thank God Emirates is not at like Anfield right now because no one can win there, even Liverpool. Oh, dearie me. Oh my goodness! Listen, we're coming to an end for this 1 hour and 10 minutes, just talking about and gassing about Arsenal and yeah. Ralph, thank you for coming on back-to-back live shows.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll just say thank you.
So you want to elaborate the thank yous? I appreciate it. Yeah, it's all good, and it's good to have the fans, subscribers come on this channel as well. So it's been a lovely morning.
So yeah, just looking at the stats, I saw the number just bubbling over 30 at any one time. Thank you to all 30 of you. And overall, there's been like over, I think, 300. You're just checking and seeing what kind of TV has been all about. Let's see, just very, very quickly. Okay, no, it's okay. All right. Yeah, so guys, thank you for coming in, checking in. I'll be back later on today to do a post-game reaction. Yeah, Arsenal versus Man City. Do you want to give us a prediction, Ralph? Nah.
I would like it to show up, and I think it'd be a draw. That's me being optimistic.
Okay.
I say maybe 1-1, but they're firing all cylinders, aren't they? So
I'll go for 2-1 Man City. 2-1 Man City. They're on a roll, aren't they? Yeah, they're on a roll, man. And, yeah, even though you can't say we have an advantage because we're playing at the Emirates, you can't say that.
No.
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. Like I said, I'll be back. About 6.5 hours time to do the post game reaction. I think I'll be probably doing it myself. Yeah, I'm not going to bother Ralph for a third time. He's got more important things to be doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But anyway, if you've been wondering who or what you've been listening to, you've been listening to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.